Hello everyone, today we will give you an update on Battlefield 2042, release date and gameplay. The latest iteration of the Battlefield series has finally been announced. Coming 3 years after the release of Battlefield 5, this game has been pretty widely anticipated. DICE have shown various pieces of impressive tech over the last few years, building a lot of speculation for the Battlefield 2042 release date. Battlefield 2042 is taking a new approach to its settings for the series. The game is set in 2042, so slightly ahead into the future. The US and Russia are two superpowers competing for the few resources left in a climate apocalypse-ravaged Earth. So, with a slight future setting, there are shades of modern warfare at play here. However, we're also looking at a relatively desolated setting with a lot of familiar spots in ruin. The Battlefield 2042 release date is going to be October 22nd this year. This is pretty soon, and it doesn't leave much space between reveal and release. The title is going to be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, and PC on release. However, there are going to be quite a few different versions at different price points. As has become the norm with cross-gen games, it will have different price points depending on the platform you play it on. The PC, PS4, and Xbox One version of the game are at the best price at $59.99. If you're looking to play on the new gen of consoles though, that price will go up to $69.99. There are then different editions of the game with added extras that cost more. These include the Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition. While the Battlefield 2042 release date isn't until October, players are going to be able to try things out early. Much like recent Call of Duty releases, the game will have an open beta before release. This is exclusive to pre-order players, so be sure to order in time if you want to try out the beta ahead of time. Now let's talk about Battlefield 2042 multiplayer. Battlefield 2042 is not going to come with a campaign mode, players are limited to multiplayer. This is the main event for most shooters, so few players are going to be disappointed by this development. Battlefield 2042 is offering quite a range of decent multiplayer modes. The main feature is going to be all-out war. This game mode is similar to Conquest and Breakthrough, it's going to show off everything that the game can handle. On new-gen consoles and PC, this mode is going to be 128 players on a single map. There will only be 64 on the PS4 and Xbox One, however. This game mode is likely to be the most dynamic and chaotic of all of the online modes. Conquest mode is returning as the more classic model. This is also going to be a large map with plenty of players. However, it will have a more varied pace and not quite as many of the new features as elsewhere. You can also expect to see breakthroughs at the Battlefield 2042 release date and plenty of different objectives. Something completely new to the game is going to be Hazard Zone. This one is a new game mode, already announced as squad-based. Not much has been revealed so far. However, it definitely sounds like a different experience from the usual large team games. Battlefield 2042 is going to follow a lot of other shooters in featuring a battle pass. This will allow players to get access to all new content added to the game after release. While some players don't like battle passes, they do guarantee a level of support that just isn't possible without the subscription model. So, if you're picking up Battlefield 2042 on the release date, you can be sure you're getting new content for the duration if you purchase the Battle Pass too. Battlefield 2042 maps. The maps involved in Battlefield are always a vital part of the game. These are bigger and more sprawling than you'll find in other shooters. We already know plenty of details on how the maps are going to work in this title. I will share some of them that have already been revealed in this video. Number 1, Kaleidoscope. This is a map set in a South Korean area. It features large buildings, zip lines, and TV stations. Number 2, Manifest. This map is in Singapore and feels themed around a dock with vital supplies flowing in and out. There are cranes that can actually move area containers during play. Ships will also contain some of the objectives. Number 3, Orbital. This is a map in French Guiana. It is mainly around a rocket launch site. Clearly, the launching of that rocket is going to factor into gameplay here. Number 4, Discarded. The Battlefield 2042 map Discarded is set in India. It features ships stranded into a now empty plot of land, left abandoned by changing sea levels. Number 5, Renewal. Renewal is definitely a fun take on a Battlefield 2042 map. It is divided into two halves, one is a coarse desert, the other a green biosphere. Number 6, Herglis. Herglis is a large city map with skyscrapers and a highway. Number 7, Breakaway. Breakaway is a map set in Antarctica. This is a pretty big map, and there were loads of different features spread around. These maps are all very big compared to what you'll find in other games. They're broken into segments with objectives in each to keep things manageable. There might be more after the Battlefield 2042 release date too. One aspect of Battlefield 2042 that players weren't quite expecting was the addition of bots. DICE have revealed that they'll be using bots in some areas of online play to speed up matchmaking. This will make things easier when you're queuing to find games. We don't know how often the bots are going to be utilized. However, if you're playing and struggling to find a game, you might end up with quite a few. If you're playing at the Battlefield 2042 release date, this probably isn't going to be a problem. With full lobbies in the early month, bots aren't going to be a major factor. If you're playing in an older or more unpopular platform, though, the bots might start to pop up more often. The gameplay of a new shooter is one of the most important aspects, and we have a good idea of what to expect at the Battlefield 2042 release date. As with previous entries in the Battlefield series, this game is going to feature big maps and big players' numbers. This is pretty much a given. So, what is going to be making Battlefield 2042 different? There are a few impressive features shown off so far. Each of them is going to help the game push the shooter genre even further. One of the first things about the Battlefield 2040 reveal trailer is the dynamic weather system. Weather can change things up on the fly in the game. It doesn't just affect visuals either. The dynamic weather system will change up the gameplay. It can play havoc with vehicles like planes, as well as visibility. This is one feature that is going to make Battlefield's big maps feel even more immersive. The other major feature was the further extension of everything that makes Battlefield recognizable. The action on show in the many vehicles gives just a glimpse of the dynamic gameplay that the title is going to offer. The maps looked fuller, with more versatile terrain. The world were as open as ever, with even more ways to traverse. Battlefield takes the task of depicting a chaotic battlefield seriously, and 2042 looks set to deliver on that. This was all backed up in the EA Play segment that was released previously. Battlefield 2042 has a feature of specialists for players to get to grips with. Specialists are customization loadouts and roles for your player character. This includes specialties. This allows you to use a grabbing hook, pinpoint targets, or support other players. This element of your loadout is going to make a big difference to your play style. At the moment, we know about 4 of these specialists. The roles so far are going to be Engineer, Assault, Support, and Recon. However, there are going to be 10 in the full game at the Battlefield 2042 release date. One big question going into Battlefield 2042. Call of Duty has seen huge success with Warzone, and there were plenty of rumors that Battlefield was heading in the same direction. It has been confirmed, though, that Battlefield 2042 is not going to be using a Battle Royale mode at any point of its gameplay. So, fans can just expect the normal intense action from Battlefield. Warzone is fun, but it is great to see a shooter franchise sticking to what they do best, rather than what's popular. That's everything you need to know ahead of the Battlefield 2042 release date. We'll know more about the game as we get closer to release, like detailed guns and game modes. Battlefield 2042 looks like an innovative take on the shooter.